guys, and welcome back. Today we are going to discuss what things you can do in law school to start preparing for Judicial Services Exam. We get this question a lot and we want to make a dedicated video on it. So today's video is going to be all about that. We will be providing all the things that you can do to most efficiently start creating a foundation for Judicial Services Exam. So let's get into it. So today's video is going to be in question answer format. We will be asking questions which we get from all of you all the time, and then we will also be answering them. So first we'll ask the question on your behalf and then we'll answer the question. So let's just get into the video of the day. The first question you might have is, hey ASAP Law, why do we even need to start in law college? Judicial Services Exam can only be taken once you have a law degree. So can't we just start preparing after college? Why do we even need to do anything in college? That is the first question that you guys might have. And to that we will answer that yes, you need to start laying the foundation in college if you can. The earlier the better. Nowadays, Judicial Services exams have gotten so competitive, it's almost cutthroat. People start studying very early on. They know even before joining law college that they want to focus on Judicial Services exam, and they start putting in the hours and slowly preparing for Judicial Service exam. So the competition level has gotten very extreme. And if you want to fare well in that competition, you also need to start early. So many of you already are in law schools, and so many of you already write to us saying that you're focused on judiciary and you're doing everything you can to start slowly preparing for judiciary. So that's really good for those of you who've already been writing to us who have already started preparing for judiciary. But if any of you are wondering whether you need to start in law school, then the answer is yes, you need to start. The reason for that is pretty simple. The whole judiciary preparation on an average takes about a year and a half. No job, no college, no classes, just sitting and studying. 1.5 years average. That is the average. Might take more, might take less depending on your abilities, but that's the average. And now of course, you can't do the whole 1.5 years sitting and studying no classes while you're in college, because you have classes, you have exams. You can't do that. But you can do small bits and parts of judiciary preparation slowly, little by little, here and there, whenever you get the time, every day. That helps you finish up small portions of judiciary preparation alongside of college. So you have to, then you can spend less time once you get out. So once you don't have classes, you don't have to prepare those things that you've already done with college, which means you will spend lesser time preparing for judiciary. You will take the exam sooner, and it increases your chances of clearing the Judicial Services exam sooner. And if you clear sooner, so let's say you become a judge by 23, 24, 25 years of age, that's pretty early on in your career. And if you do that, then your chances of reaching high court before retirement also increase tremendously. So you want to start preparation early. You want to do little chunks that you can alongside of classes. That way you will have to spend lesser time for that preparation later on. You can take the exam sooner, become a judge sooner, reach high court sooner. So the answer is yes, you have to start preparing to save yourself time later on. Now the next question you may have is, okay ASAP Law, we have decided to pursue judiciary. What is the first thing we should do? We're still in law school. What can we do? So the answer to that is, number one, narrow down your top 3 priority states. Sit down, think about where you see yourself spending the rest of your life. Maybe it's your home state. Maybe it's some place you aspire to be in. Make a list. Don't make more than top 2 to 3 priority states. This is important because the syllabus varies from state to state. Now understand, we are not saying that you can't take exams for more than 2 to 3 states. You can take as many exams as possible. But because syllabus varies so much, we want you to create a basic foundation, lay the groundwork for your top priority states. Get the law subjects ready, the language, the local laws for these states. And once you have that foundation created, then you can build upon it like a pyramid, and later on study the local laws or the subjects for other states and take those states as well. But initially, while laying the groundwork, please don't spread yourself too thin. Don't spray yourself everywhere and think that you can prepare for every state, because you will just get lost in the maze. Don't do that. Figure out your top 2 to 3 states, get the groundwork done for these, then you can prepare upon it like a pyramid, and then you can prepare for other states and take the exams for other states as well. But you need to know what your priority states are to lay that foundation, so you don't lose focus and you don't get overwhelmed. So now we know that you need to start early on in law school, and we also know that the first thing you need to do is sit down and think about your top 2 to 3 priority states. The next question you might have is, okay, ASAP Law, we get it that we have to prepare early on and we have to know our states. But do we need to get good marks in college? Because if Judicial Services Exam is a competitive exam and your marks in the mains and PT will decide whether you clear, then why do we even need to get good marks in college? Can't we just get average marks and prepare for the competitive exam instead? The answer to that is no. You need to get good marks in college. You need to have good grades. Don't think that because judiciary is a competitive exam, you can just get through college with the bare minimum and then prepare for competitive exams, because that will be a huge mistake. First of all, you need to lay the foundation right. The better your concepts are in college, the better it will serve in the long term. So later on, when you sit for an year just studying for judiciary, your concepts will be strong and you can build upon them. So having good law knowledge as a base is very important. Apart from that, there are also other reasons. If you score good throughout college, it helps in your CV and it will help in your interview for Judicial Services Exam. You will leave a good impression on the judges with your CV and the fact that you've had good grades during college. Second, you want to avoid any problem in the end. For example, in 2016, Bombay High Court said that any judiciary aspirant has to clear all their papers in the first attempt. So let's say if somebody had missed a paper because they were appearing for a moot court, or they did not do very well in the paper, they didn't clear the paper and they had to take the paper again next semester, next year. According to Bombay High Court, that person would not clear judiciary. Now this is Bombay High Court, it was 2016, this is not Supreme Court and that's not the generalized rule, but you want to be safe. You want to take this rule as a generalized rule. So in your mind, accept it that you have to get good marks and you have to clear all the papers, hopefully in the first attempt. Maintaining a good average throughout law school. So that will help you with basics, getting your concepts right, spending less time later on for judiciary preparation. It will help you in interview and you will not have to face any problem, because let's say that you clear the entire process and then they hold on to your appointment saying, okay, you missed out on one paper in second semester and you cleared it in 2 attempts. So we're sorry, you can't be a judge. You don't want that to happen at the end or the denouement of all of your preparation and all of the time you've spent. So you want to be safe, clear all your papers, first attempt, get good marks, keep a good average, get your concepts strong. Now you may ask, okay, ASAP Law, we get it that we have to be good in law and we have to clear our exams. But what about internships? Is there anything specific that we can do in law school, some specific kinds of internships which might help lay a foundation for judiciary exams? The answer to that is yes. If you can, try and do internships which give you first-hand experience in lower courts, because you will be taking lower courts exams. Of course, you can go ahead and do those big internships with established advocates and senior advocates in Supreme Courts and High Courts. You can go ahead and do it. But in addition to it, if possible, intern on the bench side, that is intern with a judge, either in lower court, high court, Supreme Court, wherever you can. Intern with a judge, that will help you hone your skills of thinking like a judge. Plus, it helps in the interview, because then that will serve as evidence of your resolution to become a judge from early on. You can show that in the interview. You can show the interview panel that you've always wanted to be a judge. That's why you did all these internships, because you were so resolute about learning the skill set required to be a judge. To mix things up and to understand how lower courts work, you can also do an internship in lower court with an advocate. So you will have like a good diverse roster of internships. It will show that you were intent on becoming a judge from early on. It will be good evidence. You will also learn a lot. You will acquire a good amount of skill set. Might help you once you clear judiciary as well, because you'll have some basic idea of how lower courts work. Now you may ask, okay, fine, we get it about law school, we get it about good grades, we get it about internships. What to do about extracurriculars like moots? So the answer is, sure, you can do moots, you can do extracurriculars, but don't forget that your prime focus is judiciary preparation. And in the end, what matters in judiciary preparation is how good your law is, how good your concepts are, how good you know the bare acts, you understand the case laws, maybe internships with a judge because you understand how it works in practice, not just in theory, so you also have practical knowledge of it. All of these things will go towards the basics of judiciary prep. The interview panel or others might not care that much about how many moots you've done or whether you were the best researcher or the best team or the best speaker. Of course, you can do a couple of extracurriculars because that will make your CV look diverse. One or two, that should be good. You don't have to be the top-notch mooter for judiciary preparation is what I mean to say. So go ahead, participate in extracurriculars, do moot courts, do whatever you want to do, have fun, but don't let it derail you from your primary focus. Do it in a restrained manner. It'll help you come across as a well-rounded individual in the interview, but make sure it doesn't affect your grades. Now the next question you may have is, great, so we get it, law studies, we have to be good, internships, extracurriculars, all of it is set. What else can we do to get an advantage? Now there are many things that you can do in law school to get an advantage and to start preparing for Judicial Services Exam. Always start with language papers. You can do your language papers, you can do your GK while you're still in law school. So Hindi, English and GK, these three are there in almost every state, mostly. And they can weigh anywhere between 80 to 100 marks, even more depending on the states. In some states like Haryana, it has the same amount of weightage as 9 law subjects. So 9 law subjects you do bare act, you do case laws, interpretation, 9 law subjects you do, and then the same weightage is given to Hindi, English. And that is a big deal. So Hindi, English and GK is something that you can easily do while you're in law school, little by little every day, and that's exactly how we prepared ASAP law books also, because we understand that while you're studying law subjects and case laws and interpretations every day, you don't have a lot of time. So you can do, even if you do little by little, like 10 minutes a day on Hindi, English and GK each subject. So 10 minutes for Hindi, 10 minutes for English, 10 minutes for GK, and you take out about half an hour for this, and you do it every day. In 6 to 8 months, your GK, Hindi and English preparation will be over. Hindi, English and GK on an average take about 6 months to complete. So why waste those 6 months after college? That is the golden prime time that you will have to prepare for law subjects and for mains exams. You don't want to waste 6 months at that point. So while you're still in law college, little by little do Hindi, English and GK. Even if you do 1 to 2 page per day of each book, so do 2 pages of Hindi book, do 2 pages of English book and do 2 pages of GK book, you will finish the books in 6 to 7 months average. It didn't cause a strain, it didn't take you away from your studies, you can still concentrate on law exams and your college and everything, but at the same time a big chunk of your judiciary preparation, like 100 marks worth of your judiciary preparation is done just by taking 10 minutes a day on each book. We have an entire playlist on how to do Hindi, English and GK slowly and steadily. You can head on over to the playlist section and find that playlist, and it will have about 11 videos on how to do Hindi, English and GK. That will explain how to use the books efficiently, how to do Hindi, English and GK slowly. It also discusses past year papers. Wherever there are questions on Hindi, English and GK in the past year papers, we've discussed those. So those videos will give you a good overall idea about how to do Hindi, English and GK, what has been in the past year papers, and what you can expect in your exam and how to prepare for it. Hindi, English and GK is important, so finish that while you're still in law school, little by little every day. If you want to go one step ahead, you can get the past year papers of the states that you selected as your priority state. Remember, in the beginning of the video we said select 2 to 3 priority states. So get the past year papers, just go through them. It will help you understand what you're looking at. Get the papers for both PT and mains. It will give you an overall picture of what these states ask, what should be the focus areas while you're studying in law school, which are the focus areas where you need to have good foundation, where you need to have the concepts really strong. So it will give you like a good overall picture of what you're looking at, what the destination is, and what road you need to take to reach that destination. If you want to go one step ahead, you can also get MCQ books for judiciary exams. Those are the MCQ questions, are the ones that you have to answer in the PT exam of judicial services. They're mostly bare act based, a couple of application based, GK questions, English questions. So you get these MCQ books and you can try and solve them. So that will give you a good foundation in bare acts. Your bare acts have to be strong for PT because PT is very bare act based, with a couple of case laws, GK, English and application based questions thrown in. But it's mostly derived, all of it, from bare acts. So bare acts for all of the main subjects have to be strong, and you can solve these MCQ books. In addition to all of these, you can also start developing a good GK foundation while you're still in law school. So read the newspaper every day, read the editorials, watch news items, watch debates. All of this will make sure that you have good GK, and then writing essays for you will be very easy in judiciary exams. And essays are like a huge chunk, essays and short notes. They have good amount of weightage in judiciary exams, especially states like Delhi Judicial Services. It can weigh anywhere up to 80 marks. That's a low hanging fruit. It's easy to take. So if you have good GK knowledge and you read newspapers regularly, essays will be easy for you later on. So if you've done all of these things, by the time your law school finishes, a significant amount of your judiciary preparation will already be over. You will have good foundation in law subjects, you will have a good foundation in concepts, you will know the bare acts well, and your bare act knowledge would have been consolidated by solving the MCQ books and checking out the past year papers for both PT and mains. Your Hindi, English and GK, which takes easily 6 months, will be over. You will have good GK foundation, so you can write good essays. Your internships and extracurriculars will be aligned with your ultimate aim of judicial services exam. So they will give evidence, they will bolster your resolution for judicial services exam, and that way you get a significant advantage over others. So if somebody, let's say, starts after law school with judicial services exam preparation, they will have to do all of this after law school, and you would have done all of these items in law school. So once your classes are over, in the last semester you don't have to attend classes, or in the last year when you don't have to attend classes, you can just sit and prepare for mains exam. So basically, when you're out of law school, you will have very little time that you would need to give to preparation, and you can start taking exams sooner, you can become a judge sooner, and you can hopefully reach high court before retirement. So in the overall scheme of things, starting early in law school will give you a significant advantage over anybody else who starts after law school. In competitive exams, these small things make a huge difference. They can be a make or break. So we hope this gives you some amount of clarity. It gives you a roadmap of what you need to do in law school to start preparing for Judicial Services Exam. We hope this helps. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get notified of new videos, and we will see you soon.